Hi. So, if you read the description on the way in, I got a new job this week. And you know what? That's been interesting in more ways than one. Not just in starting a new job, but this is a topic that I've been wanting to put aside, wanting to talk about for a while, but to put aside until I've actually gone through the process. So now I'll talk about it. So a few months ago, I mentioned the idea of taking up some part-time work instead of running the business so that I could free up some time and have some more stability and predictability of income and time and that sort of thing. So then I can do more study. So you know what? I started down that road and started looking at stuff like that and quickly realized it's like, well, I'll probably need a full-time job, but turns out the course that I'm doing, which is an MBA, is actually able to be done while holding a full-time job. So then started going down that road. But look, I just want to talk about this process a bit. So like the idea of going from a business owner to an employee for most people would probably seem like a downgrade. And you know what? There are certainly some things that are different about that. Deciding about going from being in charge of anything and everything, having freedom of choice over anything and everything, but also being responsible for anything and everything, to going back into a system where, as an employee, it's like whatever the company says, the manager says, your team leader, whoever says, goes. And you know what? That's kind of interesting, but at the same time, it can also take a bit of the pressure off. So I'm just going to talk through some of this stuff and hopefully maybe you'll get something out of it. Now, look, let me start with this. The job that I started was a field technician. So still IT related, which is obviously what I do. And, going and fixing people's computers, usually under warranty, and fixing it there on site for them. And yeah, a lot of the time that's laptops, sometimes desktops, that kind of thing. Still IT, which is what I love a lot, as you can see, probably by some of the stuff behind me. But yeah, as well as part of the reasoning for this, as well as more predictability of free time and income and that kind of thing rather than up and down, especially when like I said, because you're responsible for everything as a business owner. When you're doing a job for a customer, if it goes longer than expected, you've just got to stay and make sure it gets done for the sake of actually helping the customer with the problem or the job that you've taken on and that kind of thing. And that happens quite a lot, actually, especially in IT. But yeah, anyway. But not only that, then being responsible for everything, there's, in the size of business that we were, there's less people to spread the load around. So there's that as well. But look, the other really big thing that I haven't put out there publicly was that I came to the realization that business for me had actually become an obsession and probably actually a little bit unhealthy. Now, look, in all of this, in looking for a job, in applying for a job, in taking for a job, business doesn't completely die off. Business has just been sidelined. So it now goes from being the main thing that I do to just being a side gig, which I'm okay with. I actually like that. And it actually, I'm actually really enjoying that. So that's been good. But yeah, it's really what was really the bigger purpose behind this, beyond just being able to get the studies done. Obviously is a big part of that, because that's a huge thing that will, move me closer to the goals that I have long term and where I want to end up long term in the future. But on top of that, then there was getting back into a corporate or organizational structure, which is something that I also wanted some experience with and getting back in touch with, because in running your own business, it's a lot different. Because then you're subject to other people's processes and systems and that kind of thing. And you see different processes and systems. Because my business is only a fairly small business, I wanted to get back into the bigger corporate world and look at some of how that stuff works, because that's how my mind thinks. And yeah, like I said at the start, I'm just dumping all the thoughts here. So yeah, earlier this week, I started the job. I've joined back up as an employee of a company. So now I'm seeing all those systems and structures, or have been seeing those systems and structures in place and at work, and it's really, really interesting. And obviously combining that with the MBA studies, you then actually go and look at what you're learning and then go, well, that's here in the organization, that's here in the organization, that's here. It's been really interesting. That being said, I started on Tuesday. It's now Friday, and actually this is Thursday's video, so even from Thursday's point of view, I don't like the job. So yeah, but seeing as this is Thursday's video, I've said all my thoughts about, at least, gave a bunch of thoughts on that and about the process of that and talked about that, and you know what, I'm going to do Friday's video in a minute. And I'll go into more about, well, what's the resolution to I don't like the job. So I'll be back very shortly. But for now, I hope you're having a great day. I've had a great day now that I actually have a resolution for this, which like I said, I will explain in a minute. And I hope to see you next time, which will be in a few minutes once I finish this one and then get set up to start again. So if you want to see that, you can like, follow, subscribe, or just hang on a few minutes and wait for it to pop up again. And then we'll start all over again. Thanks. Bye.